Hey guys, we're here today for another episode of the Butt Dyno Report. This week, we're going to be looking at these upper engine mount inserts from PowerFlex. These will fill the factory air pockets in the stock mount and help us get more power to the wheels by stiffening everything up. Now, I could have gone for an engine mount replacement and really done some significant stiffening, but these were about 1/10 the cost. So I'm like, start with these and buy the other one later, or just stick with these if these are great. So let's not waste any time. Let's tell you guys where we're at right now. So we're already letting a lot more air in than stock, which is helping power, let's be real. How much power? To be determined. But what we need to work on right now as well is getting that power to the wheels. And that's with stiffer mounts. We've already got a dog bone mount insert installed. That really helps with the jerking of the engine in this motion to keep it planted and not move as much. And then it's going to be pretty similar with these upper engine mount inserts. They go on the passenger side mount. It seems pretty simple install. We'll see. We'll do that in a bit. But all it is you just remove the mount, stick these inserts in, and it should stiffen that up to continue to minimize engine movement and get more power to the wheels, hopefully under heavy acceleration, get more power down. But our tires are on the fritz, so probably not going to get too much measurable increase, but we'll see what it's like. Not from a 0 to 60 hard start, because tires can't handle that right now. But right now we're doing pretty good, honestly. I feel like power's increased. It's just feeling pretty great, honestly. Now, if I had all the money in the world, you bet I would have gone for a full-fledged engine mount upgrade instead of some inserts. But we're limited on funds here. But we're still trying to have fun for you guys, make it entertaining, but also really kind of do some product reviews. And mount inserts have always been something that have been interesting to me. I only did one on my Audi, and it was fantastic. It buttoned everything down, sorted itself out to help power get to the wheels, and I loved it. It was still a bit heavy and a bit slow, but it felt fantastic. So I'm interested to see what this upper engine mount insert does, and it'll be a second insert along with the torque arm insert, dog bone mount, whatever you want to call it, that's already down there. So it'll be the first time that I'll have two mounts essentially that have been upgraded, which will be really pretty sweet to see the effects of, plus some of the other upgrades that I have. Because right now we're able to get some good times. Acceleration's fantastic. Like I said in my previous video, I find myself at higher speeds than anticipated all the time. It just happens. It's kind of fun though. I mean, I'm not trying to get pulled over. I'm not trying to drive like a maniac, but I love this power increase. Whoop, someone's driving like a maniac, and it's that Chevy. So one of the big things a mount insert is going to do is going to stop the engine from moving and bucking under heavy acceleration. In the previous video that I will have a link for, probably somewhere up in this area, I did a 40 miles an hour in fourth gear and planted it, and you could kind of feel, you can't really feel it, you're in a camera, let's be real, but you could kind of get the impression that it was a little bit of a lag between when I hit the throttle, you hear the engine go, and then it actually starts to get to the ground. That's because the engine was moving under that heavy acceleration, that sudden plant in power, and I might have done it in third gear, I can't really remember. But we're gonna show you how far we've come now, because it has been improved, but maybe there's a little bit more that can be improved. So that was pretty instantaneous, honestly. That was pretty good. Let's go on down to third. So we're at 3,000 RPMs. This should be a bit more of a better indication. I mean, if there's something to be gained there, I'm not really feeling too much of it. It is, you can feel the power getting to the ground very, very quickly. There's no engine lurching that you can feel, but if this mount helps stiffen up some air pockets that are in the mounts as well, mount insert I should say, wow, words are really good today. I'm doing swell. Then we should feel some measurable increase as well by the butt dyno. I mean, everything's measurable by the butt dyno, right? So we're gonna really see what stiffening up the top mount does to just help that power get to the wheels, whether you're going to feel it more under already preloaded acceleration or acceleration from a stop. Really kind of figure out what this is doing for the car, because that dog bone mount at like $35 is a fan-flippin'-tastic addition to this car, modification, whatever you want to say. I love it. So if you get one first, so far without testing the upper mount insert, I would definitely recommend getting the dog bone mount insert because it's super easy to install and it has provided a huge difference in daily drivability. I can get such smoother shifts with it. I really try to provide a smooth driving experience for anyone that rides with me, so it's not all herky-jerky with a manual, and that is one thing that has helped the most. It's just helped makes the transmission to the engine so much smoother without lurching and it kind of skipping a little bit, if you will. I doubt that's actually what's happening, but it's what it feels like. So coming off that stoplight, I could feel a little bit of a jerk accelerating from second gear. Not much, honestly. It still does a lot better than it did before, but if we can take some of that lurching away, then maybe we will increase daily drivability that much more. Make it a little bit smoother to ride around in. I know there's going to be some vibrations that are going to be added from stiffening the mounts. That's just common fact of any stiffening of the chassis. You're going to get some vibrations that weren't there before. I will say they've always been there, you're just not feeling them because these mounts are for noise suppression, vibration suppression, really for comfort, and you're sacrificing that comfort for speed, power, except in this case power to the wheels, not so much power at the engine. But I assume it's going to be worth it. I love this stuff. If you're watching this video, then you probably understand what stiffening does to the engine and the chassis, and you just feel those vibrations. So you're not really worried about that. So I'm not going to harp on it at all really much more because you guys already know that. And we're just here to see if these work, and if they work, well. So let's not waste any time. Let's get these upper engine mount inserts in and see how they affect drivability. All right, it's out. It's pretty sweet. So to give you an idea of what we're doing, see how much play that is? I can move that with my hand. I'm not very strong, but to be able to move that with your hand means that the engine, which weighs a heck of a lot more than me, is gonna be moving around a heck of a lot more. So these mounts are gonna go in, like this one will go back here, insert in there, and then fill in some of these air gaps right here, so the engine won't be able to move really as much at all. So all that power that's lost to this slop, to this noise and vibration suppression, is actually going to be making its way to the wheels, which is what we want. So let's try to get these in. This install was not my favorite. It took longer and a lot more work than anticipated. If you'd like to watch the full install video, please head over to my YouTube channel. So I learned from last time, change your shirt before you do the install instead of after. Got a little sweaty. It was really, really hot in that garage when I was trying to do this, and as I was torquing down the engine mount bolts, I was basically ended up lifting the engine with the torque that I needed to screw it in. So that got to be a lot of work. Yeah, I sweated through a shirt. Pretty rough. But it's done, it's in, and I'm gonna be honest, I wish I'd saved up for the full just engine mount replacement, because I'm gonna end up doing the engine mount replacement, like the whole thing, eventually, and I really am not looking forward to doing that again. That was not my favorite thing to do. That was kind of rough and kind of scary, considering I had to actually move the engine back into its place a little bit to get it bolted in while it was on a jack. It was not my favorite. One thing I am gonna say is I am glad I've done this at the same time, because these shifts are now impeccably smooth and I don't even have to try. Between the dog bone mount insert and the upper engine mount insert, I can just shift and people not notice. I actually had a friend in the car the other day with this in while I was testing it, and he was like, "Oh, I forgot you like to drive manual," and I was like, "Yeah," and it was like, the shifts were just that smooth between the combination of these two mounts. But I was like, yeah, this is pretty sweet. I mean, at the end of the day, I do like it, but I just wish I'd saved up a little bit more to get a full mount replacement just for the hassle. It was a little too much to really want to do this all over again. So you can definitely tell that the mount has been stiffened by filling the air pockets from the factory that are in the mount. And it does make a difference. It does make a pretty decent difference in just acceleration, shifting. There's not going to be any handling gains here. It's just stiffening up the engine mounts. It's not really stiffening up the chassis. So you're not really seeing anything gained in terms of cornering ability or just how it drives. There is quite a bit of vibrations. I think the mount is still settling in. It almost felt like a wheel weight was missing type vibration. Like you can just feel it, blah, 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 blah. But it stays a consistent frequency, if you will, even when the wheel speed is increasing. So you know it's the mount and not the wheels, because the frequency would be increasing as the wheel speed is increasing. But we also, we knew that. We knew that there would be some vibrations, some of that coming with the stiffening. So I'm not really surprised. I'm not really causing that as a negative. It's an effect of a stiffer mount. It's not a drawback. It's not anything, for me at least. Some people might consider it a drawback, but I don't. I know full well that when I stiffen up the chassis, the mounts, all these things, that there are going to be some added vibrations. I wouldn't say unwanted, because it's fine for me, but some people might not like it. So if you are the type of person who cares about the comfort of your car, first of all, don't get a GTI. It's not the most comfortable. Buy a Bentley, but that's also a lot more expensive. So if you're the type of person who doesn't mind taking the mount off and putting a new one back on a couple times, even if you want to experiment with what type of mount you like the most, then I would definitely start with this $40, $45 option from PowerFlex to just put an insert in the stock mount, because it works great. Admittedly, it does. You really feel that difference upon acceleration. I've done a couple test launches and the wheel hop is significantly decreased. But personally, I'm wishing I had just saved up for a full engine mount replacement. So I'm not really looking forward to doing that again. So when I'm coming to a stop, a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll shift from 6th to 5th to just help with the engine braking a little bit. And before, there was a little bit of a lurch that you'd get from shifting down just without rev matching at all, because of the synchronizers and synchromesh in the transmission. You don't really need to sometimes. But now when I do it, you can almost not even tell that I'm shifting down to get some engine braking coming to a stop. And that's absolutely incredible. And I absolutely love it. Even shifting up in those higher gears, which are already smoother to begin with, just become even smoother. They're so silky now. It's kind of a surreal feeling, because I like to be as in tune with the car as possible, to know what's going on, to know the vibrations, to know how the road is feeling in the steering wheel, whether it's electric or hydraulic, and how much feedback you get. So when you would lurch a little bit in between changing gears, I wouldn't really like it that much, but it was almost an inevitability with driving a manual transmission, especially if you're not really paying attention. And now I really don't have to pay attention, and this thing shifts so buttery smooth. It's like that cinnamon whipped butter from Texas Roadhouse. That's the good stuff. All right, so second gear, 4,000 RPMs, 35. That's crazy. There's much quicker transmission of power from the engine to the wheels with this mount. The engine isn't moving around as much. You're not losing that horsepower the engine is making to noise and vibration suppression. It's pretty sweet. I like it. 45 miles an hour in third gear. Yep. Barely felt it, and really good brakes. Sweet. Those shifts are great. The power delivery is fantastic when you stiffen up the mounts, and I love it. I will say again that I truly do wish that I just saved up a little bit more, even though it's about 5 times more expensive, to get a genuine just full mount replacement as opposed to a mount insert. I love the mount insert, but I feel like the whole mount would have just been that much better, that much more worth it. All right, so we've had some fun, but now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go back to some 0 to 60 times, hopefully with genuine results, because I looked at my tire tread and the back tire on the passenger side had more tread and looked a little more grippy anyway than the front, so I swapped them around, and we're actually gonna try to see if we can get some better 0 to 60 times than 6.5, which is the current target, with this mount and with the proper traction on the front, so I can actually do a bit of a higher RPM start and really get it going. So let's try to beat 6.5, 0 to 60. We are ready for run number 1, 0 to 60 testing in 3, 2, 1. First run 6.4. First run 6.4. Wow. Wow. I was not expecting that. We've got back to factory 60 on first run with better tires and this upper engine mount insert. That is incredible. I am so excited. We're definitely gonna have to do another run just to see if that's true. That was about a 2,500 RPM start. That was fan-flippin-tastic. Wow. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. We're getting ready for run number 2 in 3, 2, 1. .8, I could tell there was a little too much wheel spin on that one. Run 2, 6.8. Run 1, 6.4. And who's up for one more? Because I am. This is just fun at this point. Gas mileage is dropping, but that's to be expected. All right, that was close to 3,000 RPM, so we're gonna try it. Make sure it's in first. We're gonna try it at 2,500 RPMs. Ready for run number 3 in 3, 2, 1. .9, a little too much wheel spin. I don't know, I guess I just got a perfect launch on that first one, but we've officially done a 6.4. That is factory 0 to 60, 6.4. Needed some mods to get back to it. I know that the engine isn't gonna be running perfectly after 91,000 miles, so we're probably a little bit down on power. We're probably close to factory power anyway, and these tires are helping out a little bit now. We're back into the low 6s, so that has me very excited to continue to mod. One thing I am really looking forward to is new tires, because that'll be fun. I'm gonna go a little bit slicker. These are all seasons. So at the end of the day, the upper engine mount is fantastic, but if I were you, I would try to save up for just an engine mount replacement, not an insert. The insert's great, but I have a feeling the full mount replacement's gonna be just that much better. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. We hit factory 0 to 60. Have a great day. Please subscribe, and remember, Jesus loves you. Bye.